everybody. We're now going to look at numinous religious experiences. So, a numinous religious experience is something that has strong religious quality, suggesting the presence of a divine power. For example, when you go into a temple or a cathedral, you feel as though you've gone into this numinous space, you feel this divine power around you. Numinous religious experiences are experiences of awe and wonder in the presence of an almighty, transcendent God. It is the awareness of human nothingness when faced with a holy, powerful being. Sometimes when you go into church or something, you just feel, wow, I am nothing compared to, this particular divine being. But anyway, some people don't feel that way, but yeah. So, when considering numinous religious experiences, you have to ask, are all religious experiences numinous? Just like you have to question whether are all religious experiences mystical, etc., etc. So the key person when considering numinous religious experiences is Rudolf Otto, who wrote a book, The Idea of the Holy. Rudolf Otto is a Protestant theologian. So he said, all religious experiences are numinous in nature. He described them as being mysterious, but then he's got this term mysterium tremendum. So mysterium because of the mystery of the experience. When you go into a church or something, this awe, like how does it come about, this wonder and everything, it's a mystery. And then tremendum because of the awe we feel. Sometimes it's an inspiring terror, that cannot really be described properly. A sense of dread in the presence of an overwhelming being. Even though you have this dread within you, you still feel fascinated, that conflicting fascination. So he believes ideas about God may be developed when believers reflect on their experiences, but ultimately the encounter with God is inexpressible. So ineffable again. So Otto claimed that there is no religion in which it does not live as an innermost core, and without it, no religion would be worthy of the name. Meaning, without religious experience, the religion doesn't exist at all. Because what can the people who believe in it testify to? Like in Christianity, the core thing, why do you believe in God and everything? It's because of that personal religious experience. Each person can testify for God's existence if they're a Christian, like a true Christian. But then, if there's no religious experience, then the religion is not worthy of its own name. Otto was also influenced greatly by the philosophy of Kant. So Otto recognized that God could not be known by a sensory experience or logical arguments. God is wholly other. He is a being that is completely different and distinct to human beings. There's some people who believe God can be known through sensory, sensory as such as smelling, touching. I touched God the other day, etc. He says God cannot be known that way because he is completely different to human beings. We are not able to know God unless he chooses to reveal himself. Other people believe God chooses to reveal himself and we cannot know him otherwise, but that's why he believes all religious experiences are direct. But then other people believe that you can know God because he's just open, even though you're not one of those chosen people who have a religious experience, you can still know him by learning something about him. Nevertheless, the religious experience is when God reveals himself and his revelation is felt on an emotional level. This is why when you get to see the wonder and, when you see something beautiful or something, you start weeping or, that's how it is. Anyway, so, if you ask yourself, are all religious experiences numinous? So, experiences come from the deepest cognitive apprehension, and that's also Otto as well. Yet, he also states that the theological ideas come after the experience. That is quite confusing. Deepest cognitive apprehension and then theological ideas come after the experience. Can be explained, sometimes when during the experience you don't really understand what's happening, but then the theology comes after the experience, then you start to understand, you're like, oh, You know, sometimes before sitting in an exam or during the exam, you don't really understand what's happening. But then after the exam, you're like, okay, I get it now. Anyway, when you're considering numinous religious experiences, you have to think about two people as well. Apart from Otto, there's that man, Schleiernacher or something like that. Schleier, I won't try and pronounce it. And then there's buber. So that Schleier something, it's spelled as Schleiermacher, believe that religious experiences are primarily emotional. Buber viewed religious experiences as being analogous to intimate personal relationship that he called I-thou relationship. This differs from the I-it relationship that we have with objects. You know, I and thou God, I me, I and it is kind of with an object like it, a TV, or it and something else. So you could say both of these people agree with Otto because Schleiermacher kind of feels religious experiences are emotional, and Otto also believes that God reveals himself on an emotional basis. But also Bube says, you know, what most importantly, we are experiencing God by having this I-thou relationship, which is can kind of be true because if you think I and thou giving that glory kind of to God, like thou, meaning we understand our nothingness. So anyway, that's it for numinous religious experiences. Join me in my next video. We're going to be looking at visions and voices. Thank you.